The most important border in North America runs between Mexico and the USA. It not only separates two countries, but also two worlds. In the south lies the city of Tijuana, and in the north, the Californian city of San Diego. The daily lives of Camila, Sebastian, Fernanda and Jonathan also revolve around this border station. They cross it several times a day.
Now the camera has to be off.
See it as a wild adventure.
I honestly don't feel safe.
Or dream of seeing the other side one day. I'm so close yet so far away. 6 in the morning in Tijuana, Mexico. This is the housing estate where 18-year-old Camila lives with her mother and brother. Like every day, she will cross the border to the USA today. Camila lives and studies in Tijuana, but works in San Diego. She doesn't need a visa because she is one of the lucky ones who have Mexican and American citizenship.
It's a huge privilege because it opens lots of doors for me. I can live close to the border in Mexico, and on the other side there's a completely different world with different opportunities waiting for me.
Camila's Mexican parents cleverly arranged this before she was born.
I visited relatives in the US to give birth to my daughter. Lots of people who get visitor visas and can afford the medical costs do it this way. The children are then automatically American citizens.
An American law makes this possible. Anyone born in the US is granted citizenship, so Camila could grow up with a head start in life.
Thanks to second citizenship, I was free to decide what I want to do, and I'm financing my dream studies myself.
Studying at a prestigious culinary school in Tijuana costs $800 a month, almost twice as much as the average salary in Mexico. Thanks to her American citizenship, Camila can work part-time in the US, where she earns as much in one day as she does in Mexico in an entire week. In typical Mexican fashion, she has a taco for breakfast.
Mexican cuisine is the best. Here the food has real flavor and is homemade. In the US, everything is much more industrialized.
Camila is proud to be Mexican and to live here, even though many of her compatriots would like to leave the country. Her dream is to open her own restaurant one day. But does the 18-year-old see her future in Mexico, or rather in the USA?
I want to stay in Tijuana. For one thing, my whole family is here. Also, it's a super environment to start a restaurant. Our gastronomy is unique.
On the syllabus today, fish tacos. Life in Tijuana is a mix of Mexican and American culture. This is also evident in the food, which is called Tex-Mex.
Since we live right on the border, we get influences from all over the world, and we incorporate that into our dishes.
With her American passport, Camila is free to choose where she wants to live and work. In the border city of Tijuana, that's a rare privilege. The gateway to the USA attracts hundreds of thousands of migrants from all over the world every year, especially from Latin America. They flee violence, poverty and natural disasters. Legal or illegal, all that matters is getting into the USA. Those who don't make it often end up stranded in Tijuana, like him. Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to my home. Sebastian is 22, comes from Haiti and has been living in Tijuana for 8 months. He shares a 2-room flat with 6 relatives who, like many thousands, fled Haiti last year to escape the consequences of a violent earthquake. Destination, USA. The journey from his homeland was traumatic for him. I had to cross a jungle to get here. After 4 days, all my provisions were gone because I shared them with those who had nothing left. Then I had to go 6 days without food. I saw many dead people on the way. Sebastian hopes for a future in the US, but he can't get a visa. He doesn't want to cross the border illegally because he fears deportation to Haiti. So he's staying in Tijuana for the time being, where he works 6 days a week in a fishery and practices basketball in his free time. I want to become a professional basketball player. I know I can do it. I just hope it happens soon. So I train very hard every day to make it happen. In his job, he earns just under $4 a month, an average salary by Mexican standards. On his day off, he wants to spend time with his girlfriend, but he goes round to see his friend David at the barber shop beforehand. What's up? Are you guys all right? You all right, David? I need a shave. I have a date with my girlfriend. You're meeting your dearest. Sit down then. The friendly locals in Tijuana have made it easier for Sebastián to settle in quickly. At the barber shop, many stories like Sebastián's are familiar. That's the life of the migrants. They go wherever they can expect a better future. Since we're on the border with the US, a lot of them end up in Tijuana. Since the chances of getting a visa are slim for most migrants, many cross the border illegally, but that often ends badly. Many cross illegally and build a life there. Then one day the immigration authorities come and deport them, from one day to the next. Lots of them can't cope and end up as drug users here. Sebastián has nothing to do with drugs. Deportation back to earthquake-ravaged Haiti would be the worst thing he could imagine. He's not giving up hope of somehow getting a visa for the USA. But what is life actually like on the other side? Camilla has to go straight from cooking school to her part-time job. The way leads across the border to the USA. Above all, she needs a lot of patience. Every day up to 100,000 cars cross the world's busiest border crossing. As an American citizen, Camilla can use a fast-track road, but she still has to allow at least an hour.
People are completely uptight. They cut you off. They don't use indicator signals. I try to stay in control, but I end up driving like a maniac too.
The border. Thanks to the American passport, crossing shouldn't be a problem. Does it still make her nervous to see so many police and border guards?
Although I'm not doing anything wrong, sometimes it worries me what they might ask and if they're going to cause me problems. But then I think I am an American after all and I have the right to cross that border.
We're not allowed to film here with the big camera, so we let Camilla film herself with the mobile phone.
Hi.
What you doing in Mexico?
Oh, I live there.
Where are you headed?
I'm heading to Plaza Bonita.
Your shop. You going shopping or what?
I do work there too.
You work there? But you're gonna shop there? Why? Discount.
Yeah.
The officers are required to keep the cars here for at least a minute. Small talk is used to test if the person gets nervous or contradicts themselves.
Have fun.
All right.
Bye.
You too.
It took Camilla an hour today, but the job in San Diego is well worth it. For others, the eternal traffic jam is good business. The people waiting in their cars are a captive market for a whole army of mobile salesmen. In Mexico, more than half the population lives from hand to mouth without a regular income. Street artist Jonathan is also one of those doing the rounds between the cars. People are quite tired and bored. At first, they all want nothing from me. No song, nothing at all. Today, people are queuing here for 2 hours, so I have to do some convincing. I tell them, one song from me and you'll forget your 2-hour wait.
Les digo, una canción se te va a olvidar las 2 horas de fila que llevas.
You sing better than me. The 19-year-old comes to the border every day. He didn't learn a trade and taught himself to play the guitar. On a good day, he earns up to $40. Not bad for Mexico. First I learned with 1 string, then with 2, 3, 4, and played my first chord. The rest just followed. The son of a musical family was born and raised in Tijuana. What is curious about his story is that his parents used to live in the USA, but moved back to Mexico before Jonathan was born. So here I am. Somehow my parents got it the wrong way round with my birth. But I'm happy with my lot in life because here I experience things that those over there don't. Although he deals with border crossers all day, Jonathan himself has never been on the other side. As a street musician, it's almost impossible for him to get a visa. When I see people crossing the border all the time, I often think how easy it looks. I'm so close and yet so far away. My goal is to become a star one day and be successful with my music. Then maybe I can go to the USA someday. Jonathan could apply for a tourist visa, but then he would have to disclose his job situation. Mexicans without a secure income are quickly suspected of wanting to stay in the USA illegally. That's why these applications are usually rejected. 10 kilometers to the west, we reach the beach of Tijuana. The USA is within reach, but right along here runs a high border fence, 100 meters into the sea. For Sebastián, Tijuana was only supposed to be a stopping point on his way to the USA. Then he found the love of his life in Ennis. He still wants to cross the border, but only as a couple.
You can almost see houses over there.
Yeah, we're really close, but we can't get over.
And through the water?
No, I can't swim at all. But time and again, people try it. Just a few months ago, there was the tragic death of a young woman. She drowned while trying to swim around the border fence. You can't get ashore undetected on the heavily guarded US coast anyway. But such desperate attempts show how much crossing this border means hope for so many. I imagine life with you in the US. I'm sure we'll live there one day. We just have to be patient. The 22-year-old also has a plan to get a visa. Before he reveals it, we take a look over the fence. Because there, just 30 kilometers to the north, is San Diego Beach. You can't see the border wall here, but you can see plenty of surfers. Fernanda and her friend are also on their way to join them there. Fernanda is 19 and American. Her family is from Mexico, but her parents emigrated legally to the USA before she was born to give her a better life north of the border.
It's really crowded, so we'll see how many waves we can catch.
Fernanda was born and raised in San Diego, but there are things that keep drawing her back to Tijuana.
Probably having taco stands in the corners in the streets here because they don't have good tacos here.
More on what else she loves about Tijuana in a moment. First, she's out to enjoy the Californian lifestyle to the full. The sea, which is an insurmountable obstacle for migrants south of the border, means endless freedom for the surfer kids from California.
If my parents didn't come here, I probably wouldn't be doing this, going to the beach almost every week with my friends and surfing. So I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity to be able to do this.
As an American, Fernanda is free to cross the border at will, and that's exactly what she'll be doing later tonight. Camilla has already crossed the border, but towards San Diego. She is one of 100,000 commuters who live in Tijuana and work in San Diego. That's because south of the border, life is much cheaper, and in the USA, salaries are much higher.
I like that there is more order here. There are rules and people stick to them too. That's how it should be.
But still, Camilla is Mexican through and through.
In Mexico, we are used to working very hard. I feel like the American culture is more relaxed. They don't take work so seriously, and they have days off all the time. They're always relaxing. I couldn't do that. I think I would get bored with that in the long run.
According to studies, people in Mexico actually work an hour and a half longer every day than in the US.
Now it's time to go. I have to go to work.
6 times a week, Camilla works in a clothing shop. Her shift starts at 2 p.m. and goes on until 10 p.m. Fernanda, the American, lives in a middle-class neighborhood in South San Diego. Over 50% of the people here are from Mexico. Most of her friends are too.
I used to live over there too, and I used to cross like every day for school.
I have a bunch of family there, basically all my family's there. I go maybe like 3 times a week. It gets super easy and it's super close.
Yeah.
As soon as the sun has set, they make their way to the border.
Hi guys, now we're on our way to TJ. We're about to cross the border right now.
Walking from the USA to Mexico is quick and easy. Fernanda and her friends use a pedestrian border crossing, and it takes them less than 10 minutes to get to the other side. We meet them there again. Tijuana is a real party hotspot for US teens. The Mexicans do fiesta much better.
Right now at home, everyone would be sleeping right now, but here everyone's still active and moving, and there's a lot of energy going on, so I really like that.
However, when partying in Tijuana, great caution is also required. Only last November, 2 teenagers from San Diego were murdered here. Fernanda and her friends follow clear rules every time they visit.
Never separate, never be alone.
Don't be alone. Stay in a big group. I would say like don't really trust like public transportation here.
Don't bring a big purse. Make sure you only have like your absolute essentials.
Don't look super like showy and
Definitely can't wear
If you
nice
wear
things.
like a lot
Yeah.
of like luxurious things,
My
it
mom-
draws attention to some people.
Exactly.
And for emergencies,
Pepper spray.
Always.
despite safety concerns, partying in Tijuana has one distinct advantage.
Well, I don't know because I can't go to bars or clubs in San Diego. What's great about partying in Tijuana is that we're able to drink now that we're over 18, so we're able to go to places where there's like live music.
That's because in the US, you're not considered an adult until you're 21. But in Mexico, it's 18. That's something to celebrate. Sebastian doesn't have any parties on his mind today, but an important basketball game. He plays in an amateur league and dreams of making it to a professional league to earn his living playing basketball. That could then also be his ticket to the USA.
Good luck.
As a professional sportsman earning good money, Sebastian would have much better chances of getting a visa for the USA. How does his girlfriend Ennis rate his chances?
I think it's great that he dreams big. That says a lot about him. I believe in him.
Every game is important because American talent scouts could be watching. I vowed to always give my best in every game. I want to stand out. I want to be noticed. After all, you never know who's watching the game. One day, I might be discovered and offered a professional contract. No one approached him today. But Sebastian is not giving up hope that it will happen one day, and his great dream of a ticket to the USA will come true. On the other side of the border, Camilla has finally finished work and is on her way home. Crossing the border into Tijuana at night, she gets a queasy feeling. The city has one of the highest murder rates in the world, with an average of 5 murders per day.
I am young. I'm a woman. That means for me, there's a particularly high risk. I don't stop and I never leave the main road. It's annoying, but my heart still lives completely in Tijuana, with my family, my mother and my brother. And my heart is at home here.
Normally, Camilla leaves her home in Tijuana at 6:30 a.m. and returns around 11 p.m. For someone like her who lives between 2 worlds, that's quite normal. Fernanda and her friends have partied enough for today. As always, the young American women can cross the border without any problems. On which side of this border a person is born and grows up determines the path of their entire life. For some, crossing the border is a casual leisure trip. For others, it's the basis of their existence. And for many, it's a great, unattainable dream.